recognize a few guests that we have in the audience with us. We have an OG in the house, Michelle. Will you stand up? Michelle Faulkner, our past president of EO Atlanta. So glad to see you.
Following your footsteps.
We also have Jeff Friedel. Jeff. Welcome, Jeff. Jeff is with Cooperdale Lane Consulting. And then we have Michael and David Adams. If you guys would please stand. Welcome. All here. And Antoine. Antoine, is that right? We'll give you a shout out. Is that right? All right. I spent a lot of money with Google. See some of that money in EO. All right. EOX. So let's talk about today. Who here has been to an EOX event this year? All right, it's been awesome. Let's give it up for everyone who's spoken at EOX. Great takeaway value, and we love learning from our peers. I've taken lots of notes at the EOX events, and today is no different, but it is different. We're going to get really deep and really vulnerable today, and the subject matter will probably hit home for many. I know it hits home for me. So I just want to prepare you guys. You know, when I talk to Shani about the Power Up theme, you know, my mind goes to, oh yeah, Power Up, let's take notes. It's all about crushing business. And my mind goes to like superheroes and video games. She's like, not everything, not every type of power up is like that. You know, there's mental health. You know, we have challenges that we face. It's part of the human experience. As entrepreneurs, we face more of them. We need to know how to overcome those challenges. So that's what today is all about. It's about overcoming adversity and breaking through those social barriers, those tough barriers. But we have stickers for you guys, as we do with our Power Up passports. So if you don't have one of these, please grab one from Rhonda or Chelsea at the door. Because this year we're all about taking you on a journey. And I want you to think of these events as one-offs. This whole year is a journey from start to finish. And as you go along the way and get these power-ups, you get stamps that you can put in your passport. And these are the stamps, these stickers that you can get from Rhonda or Chelsea. And we make a different one for each event. Like give Jason Rhodes, he's not here, but give him credit for designing each one of these unique passport stamps. So there may be a prize at the end of the year for there may be a prize at the end of the year for whoever has all the stamps in their passports when it's time to hand it over to the next administration. Last but not least, it's EO's 30th anniversary. You'll see these cards on your table. This is a birthday card to EO Atlanta. Please fill it out and let us know how EO Atlanta has shaped your life in a positive way. There's no right or wrong answer. There's nothing too short or too long. But please fill it out and give it to Rhonda or Chelsea. All right, without further ado, we are going to bring up our first speaker. EO Atlanta, let me hear some energy in the room. Let me hear some energy in the room. We're about to hear from someone who has faced unthinkable challenges. Let's do this. All right, you are about to hear from someone who has faced unthinkable challenges and come out stronger every single time. Armand Kadima's story starts in Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, where he escaped the chaos of war and later faced unimaginable personal tragedy, losing both parents by the age of 18. But he did not let that define him. He's built a powerhouse career, from working with celebrity clients to launching MedFirm LLC, a purpose-driven accounting firm focused on healthcare. Today, Armand is here to share his story and, more importantly, give us practical ways to overcome the tragedy of loss and emerge triumphant, whether in life or in business. So get ready to take some serious notes and give a thunderous Atlanta welcome to the unstoppable Armand Kadima. Raise your hands, Atlanta. Let's start with a standing ovation for Armand.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for that amazing introduction. I just want to make sure this sounds properly. Thank you for that amazing introduction and round of applause. I am so grateful to stand here before you, just share a little bit about my story and my journey and how I made it to this red carpet tonight. I've written all this phenomenal story down, but I feel compelled to just, connect with you and just share, from my heart, my journey from, as Ethan mentioned, from Zaire to the DRC. I've come to embrace moments of adversity because of the gifts. There's been a lot of accidents like Geico, like the song was saying earlier. I've learned to embrace moments of adversity because of the gifts and the lessons that they provide. I recall growing up lavishly in the Democratic Republic of Congo, also known as Zaire. We had two houses next door to each other. We had domestics, a butler, a maid, a gardener. We even had a chauffeur. It was remarkable. Life was grand. Until it wasn't. I remember being in elementary school one morning, and suddenly there was a loud boom. The teacher peeked out the window, and he literally jumped out the window and took off running. And panic erupted in the classroom. I sat there terrorized, in terror. There was complete pandemonium on the school grounds. The school alarm in the form of a glaring bell was being rung. And I sat there, and my heart pounded through my chest until I mustered up enough courage to just get up and run as fast as I could. I miraculously ran into our chauffeur, who was able to maneuver us home in the midst of war erupting. Soon thereafter, my family and I fled Zaire and sought refuge in the U.S. as the war next door in Rwanda and the genocides thereof were unfolding, and the war spilled into Zaire, leading into what is considered the greatest war of African history, which spanned 7 years and claimed the lives of over 6 million people. Upon descending in America and settling into the suburbs of Buffalo, New York, the harsh reality of going from riches to rags set in. And I found myself delivering newspapers in literally 4 feet of snow in the dead of winter of Buffalo, New York. Several years later, as I was entering high school, I was in the mirror checking myself out, right? Making sure I looked good, because, it was high school and I was getting into puberty. So apparently I was in the bathroom taking too long. And my father, who had like this big beard and a deep African voice, was waiting for me. Then he just barged in. It was like, he had this deep voice, and he was kind of like Mufasa from The Lion King, right? He was like, "Son, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Dad, I'm checking myself out, make sure I look good." He looked at me with this profound look on his face, and he was like, "Son, you are a man. You don't need to look good. All you need is money." I was like, "Okay, Dad, whatever. Like, I still gotta make sure I look good, right?" So soon thereafter, he started taking me with him on business trips. So my father imported gemstones and minerals out of the Congo. Although it's a third world country, Zaire, also known as DRC, is the wealthiest natural resources country on the planet due to its abundance of gold, copper, coltan, diamonds. But unfortunately, this wealth has plagued the country with diseases, turmoil, civil unrest, and hence the reason why we're in America. So my father planned to import those minerals, and he would take me with him. So we spent a lot of time together. You know, I learned a lot about sales and business from him. Not too long thereafter, he fell suddenly ill, and I remember receiving a phone call from the hospital that he had passed away. I was 15. At this point in time, I really didn't know how to deal with adversity. It was, from fleeing Congo to now losing my father, it was just part of life. And at the time in high school, I was playing football, so I exerted a lot of my, pain and agony on the football field. My father's business was our only source of income, and also the basis of our legal status in the United States. So upon his death, we slumped into immediate poverty and became illegal aliens. About a year later, my older brother got into some legal trouble and was deported. So with everything going wrong, I pushed through high school. I excelled on the football field. I excelled in the classroom and garnered attention from a lot of D1 football programs. But I couldn't accept any of the scholarships that I was offered because I was an illegal alien. This was a very trying time for me because all I wanted to do was play football and go to college. 6 months later, after graduating from high school, my mother was able to get asylum status for our family. And through that, I was able to walk on to a Division II football program down at Fort Valley State University and earn a football scholarship. I was excited. My mom was super pleased. The summer after my freshman year, I come home from the summer and my mother falls tragically ill. And within a couple months, she passes away. I remember the doctor calling my sisters and I, it was me and my 2 younger sisters, to let us know that my mother had full-blown AIDS and that she was not going to make it through the night. It was devastating. Soon thereafter, I had to raise money to make the funeral arrangements and perform the eulogy at her funeral. I was 18. I returned to school that following fall as I commenced my sophomore career on a football field. And halfway through the season, I suffered a horrific knee injury, tearing 3 major ligaments in my left knee. Another tragic moment. And at this time, I'm in college. The only thing that I knew how to do was, again, play football. And I got into smoking weed and drinking alcohol because these were readily available on a college campus, and it was a way that I could cope with the agony and the pain I was dealing with at the time. So football is no longer an option. I decided to switch my major from marketing to accounting. I graduated from college. I married my college sweetheart. We began having children. I excelled in the corporate world. I mean, life is amazing. Things are great. Until they wasn't. I remember receiving a couple phone calls a couple years apart where my 2 closest friends, who were both roommates and teammates in college, had passed away. So a lot of the agony and pain and traumas from the past began to resurface. So we began having marital problems. I started having anxiety issues, and we divorced. Again, another tragic moment. And at this time, I needed something different. I didn't want to resort to the weed and the alcohol. I needed something different. So I began looking, and I stumbled upon a podcast featuring a gentleman named Wayne Dyer. After learning about his humble beginnings as an orphan, his 5 divorces, and his bouts with alcoholism, and how he turned into one of the world's most respected and renowned spiritual teachers, I was fascinated. I immediately purchased two of his most recent books, Wishes Fulfilled and Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Living the Wisdom of the Tao Te Ching. These books fascinated me. They transcended my perspectives and propelled me on this path of a spiritual quest to understand my purpose and why I was here and experiencing these things. So through the lessons that I've learned about manifestation and transcending the physical reality and the pain thereof, I began working on myself. I ended up manifesting my wife back into my life. I manifested a successful business. I mean, we were traveling with the family and the children. We were doing things that we dreamed of. Life was remarkable. It was like things that come back together, and it was just perfect. Until it wasn't. My wife and I decided to have children. And COVID hit. This is around 2020. So COVID hits, and I literally watched her bleed to death for 3 straight days. Soon after giving birth to our 7th and 8th children, our second set of twins. So it's July 2020, it's the height of COVID, and she literally dies, leaving me with 8 children, with 3 of them under the age of 2, and a whole life ahead of me. But in that moment, as I was ideating suicide, I remembered that I had these gifts that I'd been given early on in life, through all the adversities and tragedies I'd been through. So it was time to unwrap these gifts and put them to use. So the first gift I want to share with you all is energy work, which included meditation, yoga, and breath work. Through meditation, I was able to calm my nerves and myself into a state where I could align myself and harmonize with the pain and agony that I was feeling in my body. I remember soon after my wife passed away, I showed up on a yoga mat, and my yoga instructor asked me where I was feeling discomfort and pain, and I told her my hips. So she began leading me through these exercises that would help move the energy and the emotions in my body. They were identified as energy and emotion because when we face pain and trauma, they are stuck in our bodies, and we have to move them and process them. Unfortunately, in our modern day world, we are conditioned to suppress our emotions and drown them with mind-altering substances. But that's only a temporary fix because these emotions will soon reappear and continue to cause the same pain and agony. So what I've learned about transcending pain and agony is that we have to embrace them, feel them, align with them, become one with them. That's the only way they'll actually leave us, because they are our teachers. They are teaching us lessons in those moments. So meditation allows me and yoga to just calm down and align myself and be in that moment and be at peace. The other gift that I want to share with you was manifestation, as I learned through these books by Wayne Dyer. It's the process of using our imagination to visualize the reality that we want to create. So in the midst of whatever you're going through, you have the power to tap into your imagination. Along with gratitude, coupled with the I am principle, which details that whatever follows the words I am are direct commandments to the universe to bring forth whatever is commanded. So using the I am principle and the power of imagination, you could create whatever ultimate desire you would like. I remember it was times after my wife passed away where I felt literally that I was about to die. I felt like I was literally having heart attacks. So I remember sitting there practicing these I am affirmations and telling myself, I am grateful and happy that I am alive. I am grateful and thankful that I am perfectly healthy. I would repeat these affirmations over and over again until I could feel a little better and move on with my day or fall asleep at night. The other tools that I leveraged as well were ancient texts. I began reading and studying a lot of ancient texts, such as the 42 Laws of Ma'at, the Tao Te Ching, the Bible, the Quran, and the Bhagavad Gita. I studied these ancient texts and discovered perspectives and ideologies that resonated with me, as they allowed me to change my perspectives on life. Wayne Dyer said once that when you change how you look at things, the things you look at change. And through these experiences and these newfound perspectives, I was able to transcend what I'd been experiencing by changing my perspectives, by recognizing that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And these things are just part of my formality in this existence. And through them, I'm able to learn and transcend them and become the person that I was destined to be. I also tapped into metaphysical aspects of frequencies and sounds. So I began incorporating into my routine, listening to binaural beats and ultimately socio frequencies. These are sounds that help us achieve higher states of consciousness and help us transcend a lot of the challenges that we have in life. They also activate energy centers within our bodies. And I also began incorporating essential oils. As you can see there on my nightstand, I have these books and this diffuser where I diffuse essential oils. As when they are dispersed in the air, they bring about the sense of aromatherapy, which has been proven and shown to help uplift our moods and access parts of the brain that are connected to emotions and moods. So these essence, these aromas are very beneficial to helping us transcend difficult circumstances. Nature. I love spending time outdoors. It's like my favorite thing to do now. I learned to really connect with nature. It's something that we have at our disposal each and every day, but personally for me, I didn't realize how beneficial it was. Just being able to go outside, take your shoes off, stand on the grass, you're able to connect with the Earth's natural electric charge. That charge actually helps us rebalance the harmony within our bodies and our energies. And through that, you could achieve better sleep quality. You could, reduce stress and anxiety. It could help with detoxification. And it could help essentially realign your energies within your body. Just simply going outside and spending time outdoors. I remember it was a time soon after my wife passed away where I hadn't slept for like 5 days. It was becoming crucial and life-threatening. So I remember visiting a Reiki practitioner who recommended I spend more time with trees. She said I needed to spend more time hugging trees, putting my head back of my head against them, and soon after doing so, I immediately began sleeping. At first it sounded a little odd and unbelievable, but I actually did it, and I began sleeping immediately. So these are my essential oils and my beats, my high frequency beats that I listen to, 432 hertz, to help change and transition me into a better state of consciousness when I'm having those difficult moments. As we all know as well, the benefits of exercising and moving the body. That's something that I tapped into my entire life playing sports. So I'm not going to delve too much into that, but we all know that there's tremendous benefits from just getting out and dancing and running and jogging and playing racket sports. Moving our bodies ultimately helps us reduce cardiovascular diseases and help us release those endorphins that make us feel amazing. So as I sit here sharing the stories and these gifts with you, I want to acknowledge that, in my opinion, entrepreneurship is the greatest testament of the human experience. We are given the ability to leverage the greatest gift that we have, which is essentially creating. We are given the opportunity every day as entrepreneurs, as business owners, to create something new. Create ourselves anew in the face of every adverse moment. because through that, we then provide products and services that help advance humanity and heal us as a whole. So I'll leave you with this. Survival is not our basic instinct, but rather the expression of our divine essence is our basic instinct. Within your deepest pain, there lies your purpose. Thank you.
Let's give it up for